the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an intermittent heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebonee Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I am going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America, and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Habaragani, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, we believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the black community of weapons, break up the black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Quasad Aten, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it, young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it, maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it, pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving him this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Greetings, Black family. My name is Sister Ebonee Stevenson, and we are the Toma Nation, located here at 616 East 71st Street, right here in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois. Today, I'm going to be discussing a very weighted topic with you called the missiles of mass destruction. But before I get started, we're going to do a little exercise. So I want everyone at social media land watching us live, and those of you who are here in person, to join me in this exercise. So the first thing I want you to do is close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Visualize the air flowing in through your mouth and your nose, down your trachea in your throat, into your lungs. I want you to visualize the little pieces of oxygen flowing through your body as your circulatory system carries that oxygen throughout your cells. Now, I know that as Black people, we are the most hated and persecuted people on the planet, and our cells and our families go through so many ups and downs due to this persecution, especially here in America, with us being on the economic bottom. And as our leader, teacher, and God, Minister Rahim, will say, in these United States of America, you yourself might be going through some challenges, and they can be very painful challenges. But I'm here to tell you that no matter what you're going through, Black man, keep your eyes closed, we still visualizing, Black man, Black woman, Black family, that you can overcome it. Because you have something very valuable inside of you right now that approximately 150,000 people today across this planet lost. And that is the breath of life. As long as you have that inside of your body, you can take control of your life and start making the moves you need to change your life for the better for you and those around you. Don't ever let the season you are in now stop you from reaping your blessings from the future, because you always have the opportunity to get back to God, the creator, the great mind, Allah, or whatever name you might call that divine essence, and the inheritance that is owed to you as a birthright. I pray that this message went out to those who needed it, who needed to hear it on this awesome and amazing Sunday afternoon. Now you can open your eyes. So now I'm going to start my lecture. Now I want you to imagine a family, a Black family. Let's say the mom and dad and his 4 kids, right? It's a Friday night. You know, back in the day, I feel like I've gotten old enough to say back in the day, when, you know, Black families used to do the Friday night dinner. You know, you might have like fish and spaghetti and the salad. You know how the Black family used to do Friday night fish fry, right? You might be sitting at home, you know, your dad sitting on the couch, you know, flicking the channels on Netflix, trying to find a family, you know, friendly movie. The mom coming in with a big bowl of popcorn for y'all to enjoy y'all popcorn on the movie while y'all watching the movie. And then all of a sudden, you hear missiles flying past your window. And then the whole family hits the floor to avoid being hit by these missiles. Now, usually, you know, when families are together watching a movie, you're in the living room. And what's in the living room? Lots of windows, right? And so what happens when the missiles fly by? The family hitting the deck, you know, trying to cover the children. And then, you know, they stay on that floor until what? Until the missiles start flying by, right? Until the shooting stops for at least a couple of minutes after, because they want to make sure everybody's safe. So then after about 10 minutes, it's over. The missiles start flying. The family gets up. The dad hits the remote control, puts Netflix back on, and the family starts eating popcorn again. Does that sound normal? It sounds quite insane, doesn't it? But it's a fact of living and normalcy in almost every inner city of America in this country, that this thing about these missiles flying at us has become so normalized, and we've become so desensitized to it that it's so normal. We just get up and resume operations, right? Resume what we were doing, resume our phone calls, resume talking to people, resume having fun, right? And so I just wanted to start with that. Now, according to the Oxford Dictionary, a missile is an object which is forcibly propelled at a target either by hand or from a mechanical weapon. In the Black community, when you see the aftermath of these shootings in our neighborhoods, the shell casings look like mini missiles. Here at Toma, we refer to the guns that shoot these mini missiles as quick kill weapons of mass destruction, because they are designed to hit as many targets as possible. Now, why do we need weapons in our community designed to hit as many weapons as possible, like we're in a war zone? Because in that situation that I gave you about the family sitting, minding their own business, and missiles are flying past their window, that's because for many Black people in urban America, we are living in war zones. Do you know that Black people in this country are at least 4 times more likely to be killed by a gun than the overall US population, and 12 times more likely than white people to be killed by a weapon? In 2020, there were 19,000 gun homicides, with Black people accounting for 62% of the total and white people only 21%. Now, I'm just gonna break that down for you. I know sometimes, you know, when you throwing out stats and numbers and stuff, sometimes people are like down with that because they're math nerds, and then some people, they might need a little bit more visualization. So for those of you who need a little bit more visualization, that is 12,000 Black bodies who were victims of gun violence. 12,000 people in this country, 12,000 Black lives lost, 12,000 future doctors, lawyers, community builders who lost their lives due to gun violence. In 2022, 1 in every 67 Black men ages 18 to 24 in Philadelphia were killed or injured in gun homicides or shootings. In Rochester, New York, these are areas that have large Black populations. It was 1 in 50 young Black men. In Cincinnati, it was 1 in 44 young Black men. On average, more than 12,400 Black people die from gun violence every year. And in 2021, it was the highest that it's ever been at 15,548 deaths alone. And that is the highest number of record of lives lost due to gun violence, of Black lives lost. Now, I want you to remember that number. Remember 15,548, because we're going to come back to it, because it is a very important number. Now, how crazy is it, despite the fact that Black boys and men only account for just 6% of the total population, that they comprise more than half of all gun homicide victims? These are your sons, your fathers, your brothers, your cousins who are being killed every year. If we put a random group of Black people together in one room from every major city in urban America and ask them if they've ever lost a family to gun violence, how many hands do you think will go up? How many people in this room have a family member that they've lost to gun violence? all of us, or almost all of us, you done lost somebody in your family, somebody that you love, to gun violence. So does that remind you of a war zone? That in these inner cities across urban America, that all of these Black lives are being lost with these quick kill automatic weapons of mass destruction? That is not normal, folks. And we got to stop normalizing these deaths. Across the country, a Black person is shot and wounded every 11 minutes. So if you look at the clock right now, it's 12:40. So 11 minutes from now, somebody is going to be shot, a Black person somewhere in this country. So every 11 minutes, a Black person is shot here in America. In Illinois, Black people are 38 times more likely than white people to die from gun violence. Now, around 60% of Chicago's youngest children live in communities where 91% of the homicides take place. So our babies are living in neighborhoods where 90% of these gun homicides take place. That sounds like a war zone to me. I don't know about you. In other words, in 2021, more Black men ages 15 to 24 died in gun homicides. Now listen to this. I got to repeat this. So I want you to open your ears and listen to this, because of all the things that I found out in my research, this is the first of two of statistics that you need to share with your family and your friends, because this is absolutely absurd. In 2021, more Black men ages 15 to 24 died in gun homicides than from unintentional injuries, suicide, heart disease, COVID. More Black men aged 15 to 24 in 2021, during the height of COVID, 2020, 2021, died of gun violence than all of these diseases: cancer, non-firearm homicides, diabetes, congenital abnormalities, and chronic respiratory diseases, police shootings, cerebrovascular disease, anemia, sepsis, influenza, and pneumonia, and HIV. All of those things combined, that there were more Black men aged 15 to 24 who died from gun violence. And all of those things put together, all of the diseases, death by cop, all of the things that kill Black men every year in America. And of all of those, more Black men die from gun homicides than any of those things. What does that evoke in your heart, in your mind, when you hear things like that? I mean, we know the things that are going on in our communities, but when you talk about Black people as a whole in this country, how does that make you feel? Young Black males aged 15 to 34 are 6 times more likely to be killed by a gun than their white counterparts. And you know how we always talk about, here at Toma, we already know who we are as Black people here on this planet. We already know who we are. But there's some of us who are a little bit confused and are part of the POC brigade. And when I say POC brigade, I mean the people of color brigade, that they want to be like, oh, we're all people of color. We should work together. We're all going through the same things. And so let me tell you something. As I just read that statistic, young Black females aged 15 to 34 are 6 times more likely to be killed by a gun than white females. Latina females are 1.4 times to be more likely to get killed by a gun, and Indigenous women are 3 times more likely to get killed by a gun. Now, once again, we lead the statistics of young Black women ages 15 to 34 being killed by these automatic quick kill weapons of mass destruction. Gun violence is also, this is the second statistic that I said that was crazy. Gun violence is also the leading cause of death for Black children, in large part because of the severe burden of gun homicides on Black communities. In fact, while gun violence only recently became the leading cause of death for all children in 2020, gun violence has been the leading cause of death for Black children since 2006. So since 2006, gun violence has been the leading cause of Black babies in this country. 73% of gun deaths among Black children are gun homicides, and in 2021, Black children were 13 times more likely to be killed in a gun homicide than white children. What does that evoke in you? How does that make you feel? Do you feel sad? Do you feel angry? For those of you who have lost family members to gun violence, and now something that we know we've seen here in Chicago, that is little babies out here who are getting killed, how does that make you feel? Or are you just numb like so many people because we've grown so accustomed to living in this war zone here in the urban hell of the United States of America that it just doesn't matter. It's just, hey, as long as it wasn't my family, isn't it what we see in our community? As long as it didn't hit my window, as long as it didn't hit my people, we have a tendency to only get concerned and only want to raise hell when one of those missiles hit one of ours. And instead, anytime a missile hit any of us, we should want to raise hell. I keep mentioning something in this lecture, and that's about not only the missiles, but I told you to keep that number in your head. The theme of this, when we're talking about missiles and talking about war zones, is that even though this is that Black people in urban America face, we are having these conversations right now. We're having, oh, who did the shooting? Oh, do you know who the shooter is? We want to offer a reward for the shooter. We're going to do these things. But who's talking about why is there a flood of guns in our community and where are these guns coming from? Nobody is having a conversation about that because it doesn't make sense that all of these guns are coming into our community and everybody act like they don't know where they came from. Now, if it was somebody in the white community and they were being killed by these quick kill automatic weapons of mass destruction, they'd be raising hell. We'd be watching it on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, because some little white girl or some little white boy then got killed by the guns. We see it all the time with these school shootings. They take up all the media space talking about these little white babies that's getting killed. But when Black babies are being killed, it's just a blip on the screen. And sometimes we don't even hear about it at all. Sometimes we get these babies are getting killed and they be like, oh, I didn't see that on the, older people tend to watch the news. I love you, mama. I know you're watching. But for those of us who don't watch the news, we'll be like, did you see this 11-year-old got killed? It was on social media. Oh, that wasn't on the news because they don't care about the deaths of our children. Now, talking about war zones, I'm going to bring another statistic that I found was really interesting. And the crazy thing is, it's 12:47 and I'm barely, it's kind of like how when Minister Murray does his lectures and he like, dang, I done went off with something else and I don't know if I'm going to get done with this lecture. I'm not going to get done with this lecture, you guys, today because I have a lot of things to share with you, but I'm going to go as deep as possible for this next 13 or so minutes that I have. And then if you would like us to continue this conversation on Wednesday, you can leave us a message on our social media, whether you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, if you would like to continue this conversation. Now, we've heard a lot about the war in Israel, against the Palestinians, right? And there's always these stats and figures about war that pops up when you do the research. So it's estimated that an average of 250 Palestinians are killed every day due to this war in Gaza. Now, hold on to that. 250 Palestinians are being killed every day in this war in Gaza, right? They're saying that the daily death rate in Gaza is higher than any of the other major 21st century conflicts. So I want you to think about that. To get some clarity to that number, the estimated daily death rate for other armed conflicts was Syria was 96.5 deaths per day. In Sudan, it was 51.6 deaths per day. In Iraq, it was 50.8 deaths per day. In Ukraine, it was 43.9 deaths per day. And in Afghanistan, it was 23.8 deaths per day. Now, remember that number I told you to think about earlier, that 15,548? Remember, that was in 2021, 15,548 Black people lost their lives due to gun violence here in America. Do you know that that is an average of 43 Black people being killed every day due to gun violence in this country? And the crazy thing is that that's almost the same as the daily death rate for the Ukrainian war. And it's more than double the daily death rate of the Afghanistan war. So do you see this theme of talking about war zones? When we're talking about these Black lives that are being lost, we're living in war zones. Now, I know that was a lot of info, to absorb in one setting. It was a lot of stats. But these are things that we need to know, because when we talk about solutions and the things that we need to do to improve the conditions of our community and address why there's this flood of guns, we need to know all of these details. I also want to preface this conversation because, when we're talking about, gun violence and things like that, we're not asking the Black family to throw out your legal weapons, right? That's not something that we're doing. What we're saying is we're addressing the flood of guns in our communities. Because as Black people here in America, where we're only 13, now they say 14% of the population, we don't control no borders. We don't control no ports. So how are all these automatic quick kill weapons of mass destruction entering our communities systemically all across the country where there's a large population of Black people? It don't matter if it's Chicago, it don't matter if it's New York, it don't matter if it's Philadelphia, it don't matter if you in Oakland or Los Angeles, where there are large communities of Black people, we are being killed by these military weapons. Why is that? If it was an accident, it would be maybe 1 or 2 deaths. But we're talking about over 40 deaths every day of Black people being killed by these weapons. That's not an accident. On April 20th, on Saturday, we held an anti-violence rally against gun violence at the Center of Hope for the Chosen Ministries in West Inglewood at 1423 West 69th Street. And we actually had these conversations with our community outside during the brave cold, but we had a great turnout and we had a great conversation about what do we need to do to address this gun violence in our community. Now, I want to share a scripture with you. And this scripture is going to make you think about gun violence in a different way. And this is something that we talked about at Toma. It's Matthew 13:25. And it says, "But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way." The NRA, the government, and other bad actors in our communities, from the Caucasians, the Arabs, the Latinos, and the Asians, are all benefiting from the deaths of our Black babies and the destruction of Black communities. Do you find it strange that those people that I just mentioned, some of them also have access to what? Borders and ports. This is real out here, y'all. This isn't us doing any spookism or guesstimating anything. We've had this conversation for a very long time, even in the 90s in Toma Nation, when we're talking about where these guns are coming from. And Minister always shared that there was an article that he used to have the paper, I think it was the Sun-Times or the Tribune, where they showed with these gun buyback programs that the police often have, where nowadays they give you a gift card, $50, $100, turn your guns in, where they actually did an investigation and showed that many of those weapons that you are turning in at these gun buybacks that are supposed to be destroyed, by the way, are actually winding back up on the streets in our communities. What does that make you think about? That the police are supposed to be destroying these weapons, and they just, somehow wind back up on the streets in the community in the shooting, right? Who's tracking that? I haven't seen any reporters or anybody talking about that since Minister talked about that article. And that was what, in the 90s, right? And so I have 6 minutes left. And I'm just going to take that 6 minutes to talk about solutions. Now, like I said, if you would like us to continue this conversation, please drop us a comment on Facebook or on YouTube if you would like us to continue this conversation Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Now, here at Toma Nation, we have a hospitality patrol called the Original Men in Black. Now, the original Men in Black is not like your typical street patrol. The original Men in Black, the OMIB, is about hospitality, showing our community love, right? Going out and helping escort, the women to their car when they're coming from the grocery store, having conversations with community. And when there is a situation that needs to be de-escalated, the original Men in Black have decades of experience of de-escalating these situations so that you don't have that situation where you're somewhere and there's violence, because they know how to talk to our people. Everybody can't talk to us. Everybody can't de-escalate situations in our community. And so the original Men in Black is a part of that solution. So we are looking for a few good Black men who will want to join an organization as the original Men in Black. And if that's something that you are interested in, you can always reach us at 312-505-2829, or come check us out on the Sunday here at our headquarters in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois, at 616 East 71st Street. So original Men in Black was one of those solutions. At our rally that we had on April 20th, one of the other solutions that was put up by Brother Lionel Muhammad was that we have to get back in connection with our brothers and sisters who are coming out of the prison system, who are currently incarcerated. Because we know that Black people have a high recidivism rate of going back in prison, because when they get out, they don't have those resources and they wind up doing something and get locked right back up. And I've had conversations, even when we talk about recidivism, with youth coming out of the Audi home, right? The Audi home is the youth detention facility here in Cook County. For those of you who don't know, it's actually called the Cook County Juvenile Detention Center. And I've had one-on-one conversations with those youth. And it's crazy how, when I said in the beginning, with us being on the economic bottom, how sometimes youth will do anything just to get locked back up so that they can have a safe place to stay, food to eat, and not have to sell their bodies on the street. These words aren't coming from me. These words are coming from youth that I talk to when I used to go in to the Audi home. And so we have people like the original Men in Black. We have people like Brother Lionel Muhammad who are out here doing stuff in the community to make connections so that we can get back to this notion that Black lives have value. I don't want to say Black Lives Matter, because we all know what kind of sham the actual Black Lives Matter movement was in their organization. But I want to say that Black lives has value. And we've got to start teaching our babies and teaching our community that these lives that are being taken by these guns, it's not just their lives. These guns are cutting off entire bloodlines. Like I said before, you don't know how many future saviors of messiahs that could have saved your life, could have saved the lives of your community if they had a chance to live. And we also don't discuss, I said this before, we don't discuss the karma, the blowback that comes on your family, because the people that are using these quick kill automatic weapons of mass destruction, they're not strangers. They're your family, your sons, your brothers, your uncles, your cousins. And so we need to start getting back to valuing our Black lives. And so, like I said, if you would like us to continue this conversation Wednesday at 7, drop us a comment on Facebook or on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us today at our Toma Nation weekly Sunday broadcast here at 616 East 71st Street. You are more than welcome to join us next Sunday here live. We would love to see you. Thank you, Black family. Black power.
Join us for our weekly Sunday worship service. We invite you and your family to join us live every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street at our new time from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Facebook from 12:30 to 1 p.m. If you have enjoyed what you have heard, please feel free to support us with a monetary gift on Cash App at $TOMANATION. Once again, that's $TOMANATION. This will conclude our live stream. The message you have been listening to will continue live here at the Toma headquarters. We thank you, Black family. See you next Sunday. Black power.
This is the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power!